Hi, this is Zach Happenstall, CEO and co-founder of Rise 48 Equity. At Rise 48, we've successfully purchased 38 different properties worth over $1.5 billion worth of real estate and gone full cycle and sold 11 different properties, drastically exceeding projections for our investors. If you're looking to invest with an experienced sponsor in either the Phoenix, Arizona, or Dallas, Texas markets, then we're the group for you. To learn more about investing with us, visit our website at rise48equity.com and set up a call with me. Thank you.
You will not get a lower price than the price you can get through Left Field Investors. We've made that deal with Best Ever Conference. We don't want to say out loud what the price is, but it is way, way cheaper than you will find anywhere else. Hello, Left Fielders. Welcome to the Passive Investing from Left Field podcast. Our community is focused on networking and education to help people invest passively and think differently. Let's go.
This is MC Lobsher from Cashflow Ninja, and you're listening to the Passive Investing from Left Field podcast.
All right, welcome everybody to a special Wednesday spotlight of the Passive Investing from Left Field podcast. Today, we're mixing up what we do on our Wednesdays. Today, Jim Pfeifer's joining me. Jim, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Chad.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about our activity at the Best Ever Conference this year and how Left Field is doing a day of conference of information leading into the Best Ever Conference that's going to be LP focused. And we thought we'd go through the agenda today, but Jim, very excited that we're going to be part of the Best Ever Conference again. We've been broadcasting this a lot, but love your 2-second take on our involvement with this as well.
Yeah, we are super excited. Again, the title of it is a mouthful, Passive Investing with Left Field at the BEC, and I think Live is in there somewhere. But what it is, it's going to be a super intensive, focused education for LPs. Every thing that we put into this agenda, we've thought it through and said, hey, these are the things, because, Chad, you and I obviously are both LP investors. So what do we want to learn? This is a selfish conference so that we can get some information for ourselves and share it with the LP community. So that's what it's all about. And I just love to dig into the agenda and share it with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited too. I think this is going to be great. We love the Best Ever Conference in the past, and we're excited to be a part of it this year. I am going to share my screen for those on YouTube real quick to see. This is on our webpage. If you go to leftfieldinvestors.com/BEC, you will be able to find this and other material as well. But let's talk real quick about it. Yeah, we're doing a one-day event, so we're trying to cram a lot of stuff in to educate the LPs while we can. Starting out with Ben Lapidus is going to do a welcome for us, which is going to be great. And then we're going to jump into portfolio construction discussions. Can you maybe talk about what we're planning for that section real quick?
Yeah, this is a little bit of mindset, right? We're going to talk about, goal setting and goals versus the asset class that you choose to attain those goals. And then we're going to have, and that's going to be you talking, right? So Chad's going to be handling the first 20 minutes. And then we're going to have Jameson Lett, who is a financial advisor who also helps people kind of construct portfolios with real estate and what we call the left field, and then the markets, what we call the right field. And then, so he's going to kind of just talk about how he can incorporate those together and how people should look at, hey, you have some of your left field stuff and some of us still have some right field stuff. So he's just going to dive deep into the overall portfolio construction. So super excited about that first session.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. Again, rolling through the theme of trying to educate the limited partner investor, our next item or group of discussions was around tax impacts on alternative investing. This is a huge part of our involvement in this industry, and we're always learning more. Talk about that piece a little bit.
So we are super psyched to have Tom Wheelwright at the conference. And when I say I mean virtually, because he will be on video. He wanted to attend, but he had a previous conflict. But when Tom Wheelwright wants to talk to you, you listen, right? So he's going to do a couple of videos. One is going to be talking about depreciation, bonus depreciation, and recapture. And the idea here is we're going to get him to do an example. So you have an investment at 100% bonus depreciation. And then what does it look like when it's 60 or 40? Because even though Congress right now is talking about increasing it back up to 100, they're always going to have that sunset. So we're going to talk about that. Then I'm going to chat a little bit about my lazy 1031 strategy that Nate Bush, my accountant, kind of coined that term, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll have Tom back again through video, and he's going to put up a K1 and just walk through it. What does each box mean? Because, we it's going to be right before tax time, so it's almost maybe perfect or too late, but a lot of us have to extend. Sure. But, you get this form. What the heck are all those boxes? So Tom's going to tell us. Pretty excited about that as well.
No, fantastic to be able to get somebody like Tom Wheelwright to share that information with us for sure. Very excited to see it. So after that, the next topic that we have on the agenda relates to kind of what the environment we've been in for the last year or two, talking about investing in uncertain times. Could you speak to who's going to be helping us out with those topics?
Again, I'm going to say this as we go through here because we have an amazing slate of speakers, and I'm thrilled with it, right? So we're going to start out talking about the state of your investment portfolio. So we're going to be talking to Paul Shannon from InvestWise Collective, Jay Scott from Bar Down Investments, and Jeremy Roll, who is one of the most well-known and just awesome LP passive investors. And they're going to be talking about capital calls. How do you decide if you're going to participate? Because right now, unfortunately, we're in a time where we're getting those things, right? We're going to be talking about early sales without a completed business plan. Again, people are trying to escape the interest rate crunch, and so they might be selling early or stopping distributions, right? That's terrible, right? Is it? I don't know. Maybe sometimes it's a good thing because it's saving you from an early sale or a capital call. So they're going to be talking about that. Then we're going to transition into current economy investing strategies, right? And the same three people, they're going to talk about what are they investing in next? What are they looking for the future, for the next 6 months, the next 12 months, the next 18 months. And, I should add for the infielders that are listening, we're going to post in our forum questions that if you want to ask questions of these guys or you want us to ask the questions for these panels, we're going to post that and you're going to be able to respond to that. So be on the lookout for that, but super excited about this session.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. I think there's a lot of people that are curious about the experts' opinions on that topic specifically. So after that group, then we kind of boil it back to more of our own and put up a panel of LP experts to discuss many different topics. Can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah, so this was one of our most popular panels at our meetup in Left Field in October. And we have one or two so far that have signed up or that we've asked. Litan Yahav from Visor is going to be one of the panelists. And then we have a couple of panelists we're not ready to announce, but I tell you, when you hear these names, you're going to know who they are and you're going to be fired up about this one. And this also, infielders will get to post some questions that we will use, and you'll check that out in the forum. But we're super excited about this one, and it's just going to be 30 minutes of just peppering LP experts and asking them questions and getting their answers. So super excited about that. It's right before lunch.
Yeah, that's a lot to cram in the morning session. Then we got to feed people to get them back excited and ready to digest more. After lunch or during the lunch break, we're going to have our keynote that we dub our Mound Visit, which is our brand, but talk about the keynote and how we're going to be managing it this time around.
So we're not going to be drunk, but we're going to have a couple of the drunk real estate podcasters there. This will be Jay Scott and Mauricio Rual are going to be talking, just doing their keynote. And again, we're going to team up with some questions. I'm going to be kind of leading the discussion, but it's just going to be a general discussion on what they see in the market. And, those guys are experts on the economy. They're experts on passive investing. So again, I'm super excited about all of this, but this is going to be a great session at lunch.
Yeah, very excited. That will catch a lot of attention.
Rust Belt Capital is an elite Ohio-based private equity firm with a specialization in long-term, high cash flow multifamily investments. If you're looking for long-term recurring income, you should check out Rust Belt Capital. From their approach to managing risk, the locations they invest, the product quality they provide, this firm is serious about what they do, which is why the owners of Rust Belt Capital invest their money in every deal they take on. Review their case studies by visiting rustbeltcapital.com. That's rustbeltcapital.com. Once again, rustbeltcapital.com, or email investor@rustbeltcapital.com.
After that, we kind of get into an even meatier section in the afternoon. The next session after the keynote is going to be talking about how to vet a sponsor, something that's very important to a lot of limited partner investors, should be important to all of us. Can you talk about that piece?
Yeah, and this, as you said it, man, this is the key to successfully investing. That this doesn't mean it's always going to work out, because we've had some good operators who've had a few struggles here and there. But, you really need to focus on how to vet a sponsor. And so we're going to have two experts at that. The first one, who am I vetting? That's going to be done by Paul Shannon from InvestWise Collective. He's going to be talking about, look, there's a general partner, the GP, there's the operator, there's a sponsor, there's a capital raiser, there's a fund of funds, there's an investor relations person, there's all these different people. You need to know who you're talking to, and then you need to know how to vet them. And so Paul's going to talk about all the different people that we're talking to and all the different questions that maybe you want to ask them. And then we're going to jump into the vetting process. And here we have Mark Halpern, and he runs the Deep Due Diligence Club at Left Field Investors. And he is super experienced. I think he said the first syndication he invested in was the 80s, something like that.
I think that's right. Right.
And he is super, super thorough. So he is going to dig in and say, here's the questions that you want to ask the sponsor. And we're still working with the best ever folks, but we are also outside of this day probably on the next day, right? This whole thing that we're doing is Tuesday, April 9th. I don't know if we said that, but the next day, Wednesday, during the best ever conference, we're going to hopefully have Mark do a live vetting of an operator somewhere, right? That we haven't figured the logistics out, but you're going to get to see him do it live. So on Tuesday, he's going to tell you, here's all the questions I ask and here's how I do it. And then on Wednesday, you're going to be able to witness him do it. And it's really a sight to see, because he really digs in and asks the tough questions. You know what? If you have the right operator, they're going to be saying, bring it on. Give me those tough questions. And so this is going to be a great session.
No, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. The next step usually in the process after you feel good about a sponsor is to dig in and understand the deal structure, which just happens to be our next topic to break down. Can you talk through what we're going to receive from our experts on that section?
Sure. And we have three people on this panel, and Matt Faircloth from DeRosa Group, he's going to be the first one up, and he's going to talk about returns, return on or return of capital. And he's also going to talk about preferred returns. And this sounds like, it's basic. Of course, we know the difference between on and of and returns, but really you got to dive a little bit deeper into that, because some operators, they say it's return on your capital, but when you look at your portal, it says return of. And so then they say, no, it's not really. So you really have to understand before you invest, what kind of returns are you getting and how does that affect it? Now, I don't know. I'm still undecided as on better or of better, but the key is you have to know, right? And then talk about preferred returns, because preferred returns was all the rage. And now a lot of operators are thinking, maybe I'm not going to do preferred returns anymore. And so it's just an interesting topic. So Matt Faircloth is going to jump onto that. Then we're going to bring Mauricio back to talk about share classes and structure. He's going to be going through the waterfall, the capital stack, debt structure, A shares, B shares, preferred equity, share classes, all of this. And this is coming from the premier syndication attorney, right? That's all he does. Well, he's big in economics and he invests as well, but he's an attorney focused on syndication. So, super excited about that. And then we're going to go right on to Jeremy Roll, who's going to talk about red flag deal killers. This is, in the PPM, in the deal, communications, metrics, actual stories of deals that he's seen that he's avoided or gotten into trouble on. He doesn't get into trouble very often. He's very conservative, but some of the others, like me, we've gotten into trouble. So he's going to talk about some of the red flags that when you see these, you just turn off the TV and you move out, right? You're not investing in these deals that have these red flags. So super excited about all three of these.
Yeah, that's good. I think these are areas that I have paid a lot more attention to in the last couple of years than maybe I gave them credit for when I first started out. So hopefully this helps any skill level of limited partner understand what they're getting into a lot better than they did. So we finish up the day then, Jim, with us LFI leaders coming up on stage to share stories about rookie errors that we made, which may have been not paying attention to deal structure. We'll see, but talk about what your expectation is of us for that section.
Yeah, so this is based on Steve Sue's amazing book. If you haven't ordered it yet, go to our website. It's called Avoiding Rookie Errors as a Left Field Investor. And, Steve put together 20 mistakes that he made over his 14 years. And I think I haven't been doing it quite 14 years, but I probably made all those 20 mistakes. So each of us, the founders, we're going to get up there and talk about a mistake that we've made and what we've learned from it. So originally we were just going to have Steve do it, but we didn't want to put that burden on him to do it all. So you're going to have all of us talking about, our biggest mistake, what we've learned, and how we're going to move on differently. And then after that, it's time to go get a beverage because we're going to have a networking session.
Absolutely. Bring on the relaxation then. And that'll be right before the welcome happy hour from the Best Ever Conference as well. So there'll be a couple events available to attendees after that. But Jim, a lot of stuff packed in here. This is fantastic. Really excited about the work we put into this to build an agenda like this, to offer some really good content, we feel, to our limited partner attendees. Any last remarks you want to share with people before we cut off here?
Yeah, I think, when we talk about, we've actually had a podcast or maybe a monthly meeting about what do you do when you attend a conference, right? How do you attend a conference in the best way possible? And every one of those, we have said, spend your time in the hall at the booths meeting people. And that's absolutely true, except for April 9th. You're not going to want to be in the hall at all. I'm telling you, there's so much great content that we are trying to put together. And again, this was selfishly done so Chad and I and the rest of the team that we can learn as well, right? So we're getting the best guests we can, the best speakers, we're putting it all in there. And so we're super excited. So you want to be in the room for this. And then that's Tuesday, April 9th. And LPs, I got to tell you, stick around for the 10th, 11th, and the 12th because this almost every operator is there, it seems like. We went there last year, Chad, and it was just meeting all these people in person that we've talked to on the phone, that we've had on podcasts, that have done deal webinars for us. So just meeting all these people face to face, I cannot tell you the difference it makes to meet an operator, shake their hand, and be like, wow, Drew Walgren's super tall. Or whatever, you're learning about these people and you're meeting them, and it just gives you, and it's relative. I'm super short, so you'll get to see that as well.
Yeah. Is that what people discover about you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. So again, we're super excited about this, and we hope you can go. And the last thing I'll say, Chad, is that you will not get a lower price than the price you can get through Left Field Investors. We've made that deal with Best Ever Conference. We don't want to say out loud what the price is, but it is way, way cheaper than you will find anywhere else.
Go to our website, go to leftfieldinvestors.com/BEC, and you can find out more about that price discount that we've been lucky enough to parlay into the whole registration season this year. So
absolutely.
Really looking forward to it. Thanks, Jim, for coming on and talking about it so we could share this information with the group. We look forward to seeing people at the Best Ever.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Hello, left fielders. At LFI, our focus is on networking and education. Mark your calendars because we're going to have a full day of it dedicated to you, our limited partners, at the Best Ever Conference on April 9th in Salt Lake City. LFI is opening the BEC with Passive Investing with Left Field Investors, an event focused on passive investors. This will be where insightful content meets passionate limited partners. If you enjoyed BEC last year and the meetup in Left Field this year, then imagine them both back to back. The Best Ever Conference isn't just any event. It's the premier conference for commercial real estate investors and operators. Your ticket to Passive Investing with Left Field Investors includes admission to the entire Best Ever Conference from April 9th through the 12th. Join us April 9th, where we will have a packed agenda with sessions focused on how to be a successful limited partner, led by experienced LPs, top operators, and partners. Then, immerse yourself in the full Best Ever Conference, where you will be surrounded by like-minded investors, operators, and industry experts for unparalleled opportunities for learning and networking. The best part, and there are so many, but the best part, you won't find a bigger discount on the regular ticket price than the one you get for being an infielder. That's more content for an exclusive lower price. Register for the event today at leftfieldinvestors.com/BEC, and we will see you at Passive Investing with Left Field Investors at the BEC. Thanks for hanging out in the left field with us today. If you are interested in becoming a left fielder, you can find us on the World Wide Web at www.leftfieldinvestors.com and click the subscribe button to join our community. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe to the show on your podcast player so you don't miss an episode. If you really enjoyed the show, a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts would be appreciated.
This show is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing said on the show should be considered financial advice. Before making any decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Passive Investing from Left Field and Left Field Investors. Written permissions must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.